Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Just the Tip, the show where we raw dog any and all topics as suggested by you, our audience.
And y'all ain't made no suggestions yet. Hurry the fuck up, hit the like and subscribe. I'm sick of your shit. We've been gone for like a month and a half. Pick up the fucking pace already.
That's on me. That's right. We have been gone for a while. You know, things get busy. Life gets busy. King's been moving some moist merchandise. I've been working on my company, Limit Breaker Fitness, go like that. Alright, all the plugs out of the way. We do have a very interesting show for you today, at least I think we do.
Oh?
Because we're going to talk about Silicon Valley Bank.
Titties?
SVB.
Silicone titties? What?
If only. I'll have to call up a couple of girls I know to come up on the show for that one.
Word.
That'd be an interesting conversation.
Alright, well, have at it, number man.
Alright, so... As you guys probably have heard, Silicon Valley Bank, they went belly up. Now, today what we're going to do is unfortunately it's going to be a little educational for the first minute or so, because we need to understand how they went bankrupt, and then we can rant about it. So, what banks do is, they do something that's called fractional reserve banking. Basically what that means is, if I'm the bank... and you make a deposit, I can then take that money and I can loan it up to 10 times the value of your deposit. Then I can charge an interest rate, and that's how banks make the majority of their money. The places like Capital One, Bank of America, all of these mega banks, that's how they make a ton of their money, off of the interest from loans that they were able to give because you deposited your money into there. Not only do they give out loans, they also buy U.S.-backed securities, like bonds. And when I say U.S.-backed securities, that means those are insured by the governments. So when people say, oh, the government's bailing the bank out, sort of. The bank paid for securities in case something like that happens, so that they're able to pay that money to the depositors should they need their money. So what happened with Silicon Valley Bank is they had not enough money to cover all of the withdrawals that were being made by the people there. Now, Silicon Valley Bank, they deal with uber rich people. You're talking hundreds of millions of dollars. They were spooked. Then they started pulling their money out of the bank. The bank didn't have that money because the bank doesn't keep the money. Contrary to what people think, it's very hard for you to get your money out of the bank. If you want to go get a few $1,000s, it's no big deal. Go get 50 or 100, they're going to tell you come back tomorrow, because they just don't have that money lying around. They've taken all of your money and invested.
Did you get that backwards?
Get what backwards?
If you went to go get 50 or 100, they tell you to come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
50 or $100 or $1,000?
50 or 100,000.
Oh, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. They'll give you the big money, but they won't give you the little money? What the fuck?
No. But
just for clarity.
That's the issue, is that they don't have the money on hand. They've taken all of your money and they're using it to invest and make money for themselves. And that's how the
pyramid scheme.
Work. Well, it's not necessarily a pyramid scheme, but here's the technical definition. Fractional reserve banking is a banking system in which only a fraction of bank deposits are required to be available for withdrawal. Banks use customer deposits to make new loans and award interest on the deposits made by their customers. Fractional reserves work to expand the economy by freeing capital for lending. So basically,
somebody puts in money. Like, I would put money in, and if you wanted to take a loan out, they would take the loan of my money and give it to somebody else at a higher interest rate.
Exactly. So they're making money on the spread. So let's say you have your money. Let's say, to make the math easy, let's say you have $100,000 sitting in a 4% account.
Right.
That's pretty reasonable for today's rates. Well, 4%. That's what they're paying you on your money in that account by keeping it there. They're taking that and they're loaning it out to someone at 7 or 8%, which is where the new mortgage rates are at.
Mm-hmm.
So they're making 8% interest off of the loan. They're paying you 4% interest off of having your money there.
Right.
And they're making a 4% spread.
Right.
Now, 4% on $100,000, they're making $4,000 a year off of you just keeping your money there.
Right.
Now, keep in mind, these are mega banks. We're talking billions and billions of dollars that are being deposited into them. 4% on $1 billion, 4 million, I believe, 40 million.
Right.
That's the primary way they make money. How do you think Capital One has all those tall buildings and those nice little waiting areas? Same with Bank of America, Wells Fargo.
Yeah.
They're using a concept called OPM, other people's money.
OPP.
If you're done with OPM.
Oh, down with OPM.
And they're using your money.
Down with other people's food stamps.
Exactly. So, that's how fractional reserve banking works. They're leveraging their money. And what happens is when these banks over leverage, they end up failing.
Right.
But good news for most people is there's something called FDIC insurance, which is insurance by the government, which protects a single depositor up to $250,000. If you have a joint account with someone, you're protected up to $500,000. And you're protected in every single account.
Right.
So if you have 4 accounts, all of them with $250,000, then you're insured for all of those accounts. But if you have 4 accounts and you have $500,000 in each one, you're only insured for a total of $1 million rather than the $2 million that you have in there. And that's where the problems arise.
Yeah.
Is when there's too much leverage, and then the government is only going to be able to insure the depositors so much.
You know the government's answer to that, though, right?
Print more money.
Print more money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, the government is going in and covering all the depositors with the Silicon Valley Bank incident.
Oh, how nice.
Which I'm okay with the depositors getting their money back.
Right.
Because it's the same thing as if you and I were at the bank, we lost our money because the bank was doing something stupid. All we did was go, hey, these guys are paying us a good rate, and this is where we're going to keep our money. You can't expect the common person to be able to go in, and they don't even have the access to all the information of these mega corporations.
Yeah.
But even if they did, there's way too many numbers, and not everyone's an accountant to go in and be able to figure out if it's a stable bank or not.
Right.
So there's the educational portion of it. So leave in the comments how angry that makes you, because it says here that it's used to free up capital for lending and expanding the economy. So it just makes you think, what would happen if the banks weren't allowed to do it, or at least weren't allowed to do it to this 10-to-1 ratio?
And the Fed.
Well, the Fed, every time the Fed raises rates, as they've been doing, they help the bank. The bank makes money off of interest. So higher interest rates means the banks make more money.
But the more you print something, the more it devalues.
That's inflation. That's
right.
That's involved.
I wouldn't say
in
inflation. I mean, like if you're overprinting something, like say, I had Action Comics #1, the first appearance of Superman. Mm-hmm. There's only so many copies in existence because it's a fucking old book, and they only printed so many, so it's very, very valuable. Now, if you go and say there was a bajillion fucking comics of those printed, it wouldn't be worth shit.
Well, that's exactly what inflation is.
Yeah.
So the dollar might be still worth $1, but because there's more dollars in circulation, it takes more dollars to buy the same thing. So that's how the inflation works. And historically, inflation has been at about 3%, but because the economy was shut down for, let's just say a while, the demand went up, prices went up, inflation went up.
They gave out free money.
Went down.
They gave out free money.
They printed.
And want their money back.
Yeah, they printed and gave out all the stimulus
I wouldn't say
checks.
they gave out free money, because it's not free money, because what they printed, they're coming back for, and that's why you're seeing the prices like fluctuate the way they are, like going in one direction actually, rather than opposed to flattening out.
Well, the government doesn't control the prices of things, but because people have more money in their hand, and it's basic supply and demand.
Right.
You know, as the demand is high, the supply is down, so the price went up. And because people had more more, like they had $10 instead of $5 because of all this stimulus. Well, as the demand goes up, so does the price. Because people had more money, people are charging more for their products and services because people are going to be able to pay for it, and that's where the inflation comes in. And that's where kind of the shit show.
Well, that's like they're coming back for it probably through means of taxation.
Well, taxes is going to be the way that the government always tries to make back its money.
Right.
But they can't say specifically, okay, this is the cooties getting our money back tax.
Right.
You know, like they're going to find other ways.
They're gonna label it as something else. Yeah. That's the good old, good old GOV.
Yeah, and we're both firm believers that the less government involvement in things, the better. Because I don't know about you, but I think it'd be pretty cool to go buy a house. Do you know how much harder it is to buy a house now because the government keeps raising rates?
Oh yeah, that's not. Debt ceiling, and they keep expanding it. It's like. Ron Paul has warned about this for fucking ever. It's gonna explode at one point in time. It's gonna
it's not sustainable.
No, it's not, because you take something from nothing and it's eventually it's still nothing. Nothing
cannot be something and something cannot be nothing.
Right.
Not to get philosophical.
No, that's 100% true.
I forget who was it, Aristotle or was it Plato that was talking about that. Nothing cannot. Something cannot come from nothing, but nothing can come from something. Like you turn something into nothing, like
right.
You can lose it.
Right.
Don't quote me. I'm not a philosopher, guys.
I'm wondering how long, I don't know that these banks, the Silicon Valley banks, is the end of it. I'm more, especially with the state of affairs with our geopolitical bullshit that we've got going on and had going on. It's just a lot more. I don't know.
Unstable.
Hyper emphasized and unstable currently. I think further down the road you get paper money and maybe even banking it's going to be made obsolete.
Well, that's what the crypto bros keep trying to tell everyone. It's like, crypto's going to be the future. It's this, it's that, it's this. The reality is, money these days is essentially numbers on a screen.
Right.
People are so detached from their money.
Right.
And here's the three things that are killing Americans right now. Credit card debt, student loan debt, and car debt.
And Lizzo.
Oh, dude. I'm just hoping she doesn't try to stand up out of the pool. Okay, we don't need another Japan incident. Tsunami.
Yes.
That was a fat joke in case you didn't get it, guys.
We had to work Lizzo into the conversation.
Oh, well, let's be honest. She just kind of drops in by herself.
Jeez. Mm-hmm. Wow.
If she wanted to support Australia during the wildfires, she could have just stopped, dropped, and rolled all over the country. We would have lost a few koalas and kangaroos, but
dude, we should
at least she can claim that's how she got chlamydia.
Dude, we should put and I think I've said this before, but we should put the Olympic events. I don't want to see people doing dives. I want to see the largest people we have, my 600-pound life motherfuckers jumping off diving boards and cannonballing into pools.
For enough money, they'll do it.
No, I'm just saying that would be a lot more entertaining to me. Just to get the wave radius and all that shit, dude. That would be fucking amazing.
You know how Amazon has that?
Lizzo could be a gold medalist and a fucking hip hop
and then she could do
pop star or whatever.
And then what would happen is, she dives into the pool, and then since all the water will be cleared out, she can just start doing a concert right from there.
But the only thing bigger than Lizzo is the national deficit.
So how would we solve this national deficit? Well, the first thing would be, it's like with a home budget, stop spending money on crap you don't need. Like, well, okay, let's be honest. You needed those. Those are needs.
Sorry, they were in reach.
This whole room is full of needs.
It totally is.
I'm not saying that sarcastically. Like
one hand and
it's freaking awesome.
Shit in the other. Tell me. Talking shit.
But like, if you're trying to get a home budget in order, first thing you do is you trim the fat, right, Lizzo? Well, I can keep going all day on this. Oh
man, we are
but
fat shaming over her.
So, what was it? 12 billion for gender studies in Pakistan we spent during one of the bills.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, this is gonna make a lot of people angry, but there's two genders, and in Pakistan they like the men more. Give me $12 billion. I just summed it up for you. Where's my $2 billion?
Yeah, that's a topic for a whole nother time.
We'll do that
for sure.
But I'm just saying, like, we can't even get our own domestic issues solved. And that's
what we've been doing though. That's not just then. Like, we've been doing that. We've been buying political influence forever. Yeah. Like, you need aid. Okay, we got you. But then again, like, it's just kind of like if, like, fucking I was behind on my mortgage and you needed $800 and my mortgage was like $1,000 and I loaned you $800, like, putting you before me.
Yeah, you
that's how they buy political influence. Like, we can manipulate your fucking currency. We can manipulate your resources. If you need us, hey, remember that time we got you? Yeah, now you got to have us.
Yeah,
and it's just
that was going to be what I was saying. Is that, like, I doubt it was actually for gender studies. Because but like, that's the whole point. Like, I summed it up in two sentences.
Yeah, like,
it's like that doesn't take.
If you'd have said this 10 years ago, a larger portion of the population have been like, yes, but like through means of social media, through means of hyper emphasizing all this crazy shit that's going on.
Well, it's let's normalize this. Let's normalize that. It's like,
and it's
these things aren't normal for people.
And I'm not saying that those people do not exist. They did before any of this hyper emphasization of any of it. They existed, but now that they've polluted the airways, so to speak, and this is like normalized, we're mainstreaming this now. It's really sucked in a lot of fucking people that really just don't fit in anywhere else. And they're like, you know what? They're championing this, and they will protect me if I'm a part of this, and they jump over to that. But anyway, back to the money. I think the banks, the ceiling's going to collapse.
The ceiling is the roof, as Michael Jordan.
It's going to collapse, and we're almost on the brink of World War III. It's just edging closer and closer. I think the new currency will be. Are you ready? Do you have any idea what I might say?
Bullets.
Ammunition. Seriously.
Well, that's like all the time people, like, they worry about, like, the stock market completely crashing and all this. And it's like, hey, like, I don't want to invest. I'm too scared. It's like, if the U.S. stock market and the world stock market was gone, that means we are in a post-apocalyptic world. That means there is no economy. That means there is nothing happening. And at that point, money will not be your focus.
Even Bitcoin. Like, if you get hit with an EMP, where's your fucking money?
Yeah.
Where's your money? Fire up your computer. Like, Bitcoin, what's it mean? Like but it's shiny. It's like an alternative, and I get that, and I get the attraction to it. But if people keep putting faith in fucking politicians that do the shit that they're doing with this foreign influence purchasing and meddling in other fucking countries' affairs, and you keep voting for these people, then we're going, and that's both right and left. That's where we're heading, and then we're heading there fast.
Well, the problem is the fact that you can be a career politician and you can make millions and millions of dollars. But last I checked, politicians' salaries aren't $1 million a year.
No.
How are these guys worth 40,
Insider
50,
trading.
60 million?
Insider trading, sponsoring, lobbyists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I saw, what was it, 2 years ago, I think it was? Something about how Nancy Pelosi awarded a government contract to a construction firm that was a sister company of one of her husband's companies. Or something like that. Like, so technically, her husband owned it.
Yeah.
Or, like, he had an interest in it.
Well, look at what Tom Wolfe, when they shut everything down, like, he let one of his old projects that he allegedly didn't own anymore, but still had the name or whatever, and he let that run because it was deemed essential. And it was like a woodworking or like cabinet make. I don't remember what the fuck it was, but like, yeah, they're gonna.
Yeah, I mean, like, if nobody's around and you're just, woodworking, it's like there's no reason for it to be shut down.
Right.
But if you've got customers coming and going and all of this stuff, like, operating as normal, then it's like, okay, well, you're not essential.
Yeah.
It's like no one's gonna say, oh, you can't just.
I think it was all essential. None of it needed shut down. That was just a fucking dumb response.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
if it's one way or the other, I get you. Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, if you can't have people around, go ahead, keep woodworking, shipping stuff, whatever. Like,
right.
I'm not saying you have to shut your business down, but if you're not essential by what they said, but you're still operating full capacity, just because you're owned or affiliated with, then. But that's the whole cooties thing. But
that's what politicians do, though.
So
do as I say, not as I do.
Well, we got to bring back tarring and feathering. Now you can't even call someone a name in public without, "Where's my safe space? This is not a safe space. I'm being verbally abused."
Pussies. A whole lot of them. Yeah.
That is a bad word.
Oh, dude.
Jake said a bad word.
Well, I got many more where that came from. Yeah, dude, that shit is old and been old fast. But you know what? It's a litmus test. When you see people talking that way, you already know that you don't want a conversation with these people because they're already predetermined. They already know what the fuck they're going to say and what their response is. If you say this, it's an automatic go-to. A
lot of what they say, it's kind of well, this doesn't apply to me, but this is how I want it for everyone else kind of thing. Like, they're just, and like, it's like, well, if these are the rules you want, guess what? And these are the rules you got to play by too.
And they're canceling each other too, though.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
until there's nothing left to cancel.
I still can't believe they tried to cancel Eminem for "Love the Way You Lie."
What?
You didn't hear about that?
Recently?
I think it was last year. They were trying to cancel Eminem for his song with Rihanna, "Love the Way You Lie." Amazing song. And it goes into, for those who haven't heard it, it's about domestic violence and abusive relationships.
Mm.
And
with the government? No. Go ahead.
Don't get me started on what kind of relationship.
Stockholm Syndrome.
Anyway, so it's like the theme of it is, domestic abuse, abusive relationships, things like that. And they were trying to cancel him because they're like, oh, he's promoting domestic violence. Well, first of all, he's talking about a relationship, like he was in an abusive relationship, and contrary to what some people will tell you, women can be abusers, men can be abusers. Like, it's not a gender thing.
Gaslighting happens from both sides.
But, he's a man, he's talking about domestic abuse. And here's the thing that I didn't understand about it is, the song was 10 years old at this point, or something like that. And then,
now they're coming for it.
Of all the songs that Eminem has ever done.
Yeah, I know. Like,
that's
really?
The one,
that's tame as fuck.
Like, that's the one where he's actually bringing awareness to an issue while making an amazing song. Like, he's had songs where he talks about, like, R-ing and then killing his own mother.
Yeah, and then, like, homosexuality, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, like, using, derogatory terms against sexuality and stuff like that. Yeah, you know who canceled Eminem? You know who actually canceled Eminem?
You're not gonna say
Eminem canceled fucking Eminem. Because the moment, and was it like right before the last election, not the fucking...
Oh, when he was going off on Trump.
I'm just like, dude, he was that guy that was just... He said whatever, and that was it. Like, he was kicking everybody's ass, and it didn't fucking matter. Like, he just went on tangents and just ripped the shit anybody in his path. And now, him going off on, on Trump or whatever, is just kind of like, you're kissing the same ass you were kicking before. And I don't understand, like, where, like, anybody holds this dude to any type of fucking standard. Like, he literally canceled himself because he started to cater to, like, fucking politicians. Like, dude, you just stick with the music. If you want to, he even talked about presidents and presidents dying in a lot of his songs before.
Well, he's always had he's always made his political leanings known, and he's made mentions of it in his music. Like, White America, that song?
Yeah.
Great song. And he goes off on some politicians, and, like, he'll name drop anyone he has a problem with.
But the fact that he sided with the most establishment guy, and I'm not a Trump guy at all, I've said this a fucking million times, I don't like that guy either. But, like, he sided with the most establishment piece of shit who was, like, his policies have made poverty-stricken communities just further into,
well,
he's a shit show.
The problem is he made an entire album that was politically driven.
Yeah.
It became from it went from, oh, okay, he doesn't like Trump, to, okay, let me do an entire BET cypher only talking about him. Let me make an entire album that's constantly, like, all about, like, pushing politics and whatnot. And that's the issue, like, where he's still, to me, the best rapper of all time, I believe. So, like, if you want to say, Pac, Biggie, Jay-Z, Lil
they're different
Wayne,
styles,
whatever.
different styles.
Yeah,
like, I think
so
that's subjective.
Yeah, there is no one GOAT. But
if I think anybody could rival him lyrically, Token. You ever heard of Token?
No.
Oh my god. Well, he's a younger. He's probably in his early 20s right now. But this dude, listen to Token. This dude is fucking. He's raw.
I'll have to check him out.
He's nasty.
Leave me a link for his best video in the comments.
Oh yeah, just look up Code Red. Just listen to all of his shit. He is a phenomenal fucking artist too. But no, I would agree. Like, M was the man, and lyrically is this fucking. He's nasty. But, like, just the way he started to kiss the establishment's ass. And I think that's a lot of these fucking Hollywood, Peterwood motherfuckers, whatever. Like, they really do, like, hey, you want to stay relevant? I need you to go do this and do it publicly. Or I'm just going to fucking, or you're going to get Bill Cosby'd, or you're going to be Andrew Tated. Like, they'll demonetize you. They will fucking take you down. Like, if you don't go lockstep with what they're doing, I think that might have happened to him. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But, like, the way he like flip-flopped, I'm like,
who knows? I mean, because he operates with Dr. Dre. They have their own label, their own everything.
Yeah.
So, like, I doubt it in his
I
case.
I wouldn't know. See, you can have your own label. You can have your own property. You can have your own establishment. But the government can go, If you're talking, I can still shut you down.
If you're talking the government, then that's one thing. I was the way you said it made it sound like it was like the Hollywood elites wanted him to do it. But
no, I think a lot of the Hollywood elites were kind of coerced into doing that. A lot of people that were like, super big on like freedoms and all that stuff, like way back in the day, they've kind of flip flopped on that shit during the COVID's thing, and they really. Like, stopped, like, hey, like, Born in the USA, fucking Bruce Springsteen, all of a sudden he's rolling around.
Well, one thing you got to remember, with Hollywood being so liberal, is that you tend to absorb your surroundings.
Yeah.
And it doesn't surprise me that so many people go there and then suddenly start becoming way too liberal.
Yeah.
So
that's what the left did really well, though.
Like, yeah, like they kept like, it's basic marketing, really, when you think about it.
It is.
Like, think about, like, why does McDonald's still spend billions of dollars a year on ads? Is it because people don't know about McDonald's? Or is it because you see an ad and it triggers it into your brain? Because you don't randomly...
It's programming.
You don't randomly think about McDonald's. But you
I do.
But generally speaking,
No,
like,
no, I
it's
get what
not
you're
at the
saying.
forefront of your mind.
It's a programming
yeah.
process.
So like you see the commercial, it's like, oh yeah, okay, and then
Yeah, but that's something the left really did well, is they really like integrated themselves into a lot of subcultures and then hijacked them, and then so it's very easy to propagandize the masses with.
Well, anything can be normalized, like, and then people think that's okay. Like when we were talking about the Gina Carano issue, what was it, like? It's 2 months ago now.
Yeah,
It's like, well, she was trying to point out that in Germany, the general public didn't think anything was wrong and even supported what the government was doing, was because they made that stuff normal.
right,
It became normalized, as horrific as it was.
right.
And that's just one example that she was trying to use. Like, it's happened all throughout
Right.
history. Like, anytime communism starts taking place in a country, how do they...
It's the same formula every fucking time.
Yeah, how do
Yeah.
they do it? Well, first, they start blaming the rich. And because there's way fewer rich than there are poor people, it's just resources are finite. Well, those poor people, they blame the rich, blame the rich, blame the rich, and they start wanting to take and hand out stuff, make handouts,
Yeah,
and then people, they're like, oh, hey, it's like, why am I gonna go work at McDonald's when I can make more sitting at home and getting a check?
it's another way to buy influence.
Yeah.
Same strategy.
Well, let's say you don't make as much. Let's say you make half of what you make working a menial job. It's like, well, with it being a menial job, like, even if, like, some people, even if they're only making half, but they get to sit around and do whatever they want.
Yeah,
Especially these days, like, all these streaming sites boast 80,000 plus hours of entertainment for only $10.99 a month, or something like that. I think is what Peacock was saying.
yeah.
Like, people, like, there's so many ways people can distract themselves, and that's why people are in so much car debt, credit card debt, and student loan debt, is because there's so many distractions. Like, it's
Bread and
hard to
circuses.
focus on.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
bread
hard to
and
focus
circuses,
on
man.
those things, and
And if you don't follow suit, and you don't, align yourself with these trends, then you're kind of like, you feel inadequate, or you're made to feel inadequate.
well, you're like it's a FOMO.
Yeah, fear of
Yeah.
missing out. Yeah,
Yeah, like let's talk like cars. The average car payment in America is $561. That money invested in just a simple S&P 500 index fund, or ETF. For those that don't know, an ETF or index fund is basically a basket of stocks. So instead of investing in one company, you're taking your money and spreading it over 500 different companies. Diversifies for you without having to actually buy individually with all of them, and it makes it very easy.
somebody smucking fart over here.
Well, I don't want people to be like, what's he talking about?
Right? No,
So-
yeah, definitely.
So that's what an
Let
S&P
'em know.
fund is. It's one of if not the lowest risk investment you can make. And on average, because it follows the 500 big companies, it's going to make you around 8-9% per year. Now, some years we're going to lose a crap ton, like 22% last year we lost on the market.
Yeah,
But somewhere between 8 and 12. If you invest that car payment, you will be a millionaire. If you just invest that 560 on average, it will compound into itself, and you will end up being a millionaire. Is it going to take 20 or so years? Yeah.
right.
But interest is working for you instead of for the bank now. Now, I'm not saying don't go get a car at all.
And that is just the tip from Monty.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, well, do you really need a car? Because now that it's going up, the credit card debt is around 1.7 trillion. Student loan debt is 1.8 now, or something like that. I don't remember what the overall car debt is. But just on those three things, Americans are like $6 trillion in debt, almost. Because, they just don't pay attention.
Buy used cars. Pay cash money.
Well, if you can buy a car cash, that's the best way to do it, because it's a
That's what I did.
depreciating asset. If you have to finance, there's a show called The Money Guy on YouTube. They have some great criteria for buying a car. 20% down, 3-year term, no more than 8% of your payment. They've done the math. That's where you can, if it is a new car, but it falls under that criteria, you can afford the depreciation on it. And odds are most people don't make enough money for that.
Right.
So you can avoid all the depreciation. And then the fourth rule is don't let your car payment prevent you from investing. And that's how these banks like Silicon Valley are making so much money off of you and me, because, you know, we're not prioritizing investing.
Right.
You know, and, you know, people are going to say, well, I don't have money to invest. Well,
Convenience.
Well, yeah. How many things do you are you, like, your $1,000 phone?
Right.
Did you really need the brand new iPhone when it came out, or the brand new Galaxy?
Right.
Like, I never buy the brand new phone unless it's like on a super deal.
Mm-hmm.
And it, I always go with like a one.
Yeah, you got to shop smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The previous model or the model before.
Right.
I'm not saying you can't enjoy life, but these institutions are taking advantage of your naivete.
Well, and that's where they make their money. It's to see even like fucking ATM machines. That's a racket, like a motherfucker, dude. They're paying. You got to pay like some of them like $5 and upwards to get your own fucking money out. Like,
do you know how much money there is in card and processing?
oh, it's got to be retarded.
There's a reason why Elon Musk became a billionaire before Tesla and all that, when he had PayPal.
Yeah.
Because that's all they did. Now, the way it works, like you swipe your credit card, there is a fee for the transaction, and then there's a percentage fee on top of that the store has to pay to the credit card processor.
Yeah.
Now, it's like what was I paying when I had the store? I had like a 1.2% fee or something. That's on all purchases.
Right.
So I'm losing about 1% off the top because people are using credit cards. But I can't not accept credit cards.
Right. Yeah.
And so you're losing that right there. And then there's a flat fee, a per transaction fee. There's a bug on my arm.
Fuck.
Anyway, now think about how many transactions are happening across the United States alone.
Oh yeah.
Every single
it's
day.
Insane.
Like,
it's insane.
1% of that is just going to the companies. Just like that. The student loan companies, they have about $1.8 trillion. They're making, on average, I want to say it's about 6%, but let's say 5% to make the math easy, and let's say it's $2 billion, because it's going to get to $2 billion.
Right.
Or $2 trillion. What's 5% of $2 trillion?
Shit, I don't know.
About 100 billion.
Okay.
So on interest alone per year, they're making about $100 billion. Just because of your student loans. Same thing with your credit cards, 1.7 trillion. They're at, like, let's say 20% to make it easy. But most credit cards are around 23-24%. That's going to be at $2 billion pretty soon. What's 20% of that?
A lot of fucking money.
Yeah. 400 billion?
The human abacus, Monty.
But that's why, like, these, when stuff like this happens, like, in case you guys couldn't tell, I like to nerd out about money, and I'm sorry if it's boring you a little bit, but I'm trying to open your eyes a little bit and help you to...
Monty was like, I'm going to do a podcast with King today, and I'm going to make him feel like a fucking idiot.
No, I'm just trying to, like... well, like, I figured, like, this is good information.
It definitely is,
to get
definitely
out
is.
there, and that...
I like to learn.
Yeah, and, like, obviously, you're not happy that this is how these institutions handle our money.
No.
Like, it's...
That's why I also vote with my dollar. I really don't bank unless it's through bill paying of some sorts. Other than that, like, it's cash on hand. If I that's what dictates how my spending is. Like, if I have it in my wallet, good. If I don't, like, that's how I know what I can spend.
Well, they've got studies. You always spend more with a card.
Yeah, and because it's not seen, it's not there.
Yeah.
And you're putting blind faith and trust in yourself, and not everybody has that discipline. I think it's more discipline to take it the way that I do. I'm not going to say I don't buy stuff that I don't need. As you can see, this whole fucking studio is filled with stuff that I really don't need, but I really like. So, but it's also an investment too. Like if I ever decide to sell one day, you're probably a fuck ton.
I was looking at Yu-Gi-Oh cards on eBay yesterday just to see, because like it like popped into my head. I saw something on YouTube about some dude opening a pack, getting all excited. I had no idea what the terms he was using meant, but I'm like, let me see just how expensive some of these cards get.
Yeah.
I type in Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Yeah.
$300,000. Like some first edition ghost rare or something like that.
Holy shit, dude.
300,000.
There's some Magic the Gathering cards that are like, if I'd have known then what I know now, them motherfuckers. I've got recent cards that are worth a lot of money, but like, yeah, some of the older stuff, and that Yu-Gi-Oh's not even as old as fucking Magic.
Yeah, well, Yu-Gi-Oh was, I think, 98.
Yeah.
It came out.
And like Magic, I want to say was earlier 90s. Earlier 90s, like maybe 92, 91.
Obviously, there's no way you could have known how big either game would get.
No.
You know, and you're a kid, you get these cards, you want to take them out and play with them.
Right.
You know, always take it out and play with it once in a while, guys.
Yeah.
Like, it's just... But that's the thing, like...
And if you can't, cut a hole in your pocket.
Cut a hole in the bottom of the popcorn.
This doesn't taste like movie theater butter. Wow.
Hey. Is that a ding dong?
Blipping in and out. That's the noise that something's connecting and reconnecting or disconnecting.
I'm not sure, but both our mics and our cameras are just fine.
Are we good?
Yep. You guys can't see it. There's a little line telling us when we're talking. Keeps going up and down. There it goes. Wait, no, it's gone. Oh wait, no, there it goes. Wait, it's gone. No, wait, there it goes.
Now I want to see if mine. I want to see if mine is just as dominant. Hello. It is. Is it registering separately?
Yeah, they're registering separately.
Okay, cool. We're good. I got a new mic, just so we could not have as many audio issues that we might have been having before, and we're trying to try to frequent this a little bit more and give a little bit more of better content with better quality.
Yeah, we're still experimenting, so to speak.
Right. My holes are still not in my pockets yet, so we're good. But no, we definitely want to provide more content in the future.
That's both educational and rage-inducing.
And humorous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although if you get people mad enough, they'll just watch anyway.
Right.
They don't care if it's funny. What do these assholes have to say today?
Yeah. What can I make you angry about? As long as I'm living rent-free in your head, we're good. Right?
That's honestly, like, these banks are living rent-free in my head. Because just like, I see my money disappear and it's like, oh, I worked too hard for this.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of blind faith there, man. I can't, indulge. It's just, I know it's putting trust in institutions that don't have your best interest at heart. And
a company, it's your best interests. Like, it's a business is not moral or immoral. It's amoral. The goal of a business is to make as much money as possible.
Right.
Now, if they're doing things like child labor and whatnot, hopefully that gets exposed, and people stop
Define child labor.
No, just saying. Under 18, King. Under 18,
Fuck that, dude. I was mowing yards at like 9 years old. I was mowing yards in coal mines, walking to school uphill both ways, filled with snow.
50 miles.
Yeah, like I just got home.
I was actually born in the coal mine.
No, but like I don't know about like child labor. Like you should be able to work.
I was just making the under 18
like if you're like
joke,
but if you seen the videos, I think there was like they had it on Rogan or whatever. But like these people, they're in these like lithium mines and they had like thousands of people and like saying like holy shit, like that is just no, that's not cool.
Yeah, like all these EVs and whatnot. It's like sure they look pretty and it sounds good, but first of all, we don't have the infrastructure. I don't want to risk getting stranded in the middle of the road because my car died.
Right.
Like I want to just be able to fill back up and get some gas. Oh, well, you can get 300 miles to the charge. Okay, well, are there... if
that was their interest, dude...
ports 300 miles between each other?
If that was actually something they wanted to do, which it's not. The intent there is very diabolical. There have been people, and such as Erie's own John Canzias. You ever heard of him? Canzias Research back in the day?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you a briefing on that. Well, he created an engine for a car that ran off salt water.
I heard something about that.
Yeah, and then like all these foreign scientists came and studied with him. They studied with him and studied with him. And the government kept trying to patent it and buy it. And he's like, nope, I know what'll happen to it. No, I know what'll happen to it. And then he ended up, and he also had cancer research stuff that was like, he was putting stuff in, I believe it was rats, and it was ready for human trials. Like it was like radiating the cancer cell and eliminating it. He had that stuff going on. And he ended up, I believe, dying, don't quote me on this, I may or may not be accurate, from leukemia, I want to say. But then they started up the John Canzias research program for his, to get to the human trial stage. I was like, they're gonna brush it under the rug. They'll keep it going for a couple of years. You'll never fucking hear from it again. Oh wow, haven't heard from it lately, and you're not hearing from the technology either. So, but then there's that one guy that got killed in that mass shooting in Buffalo when a dude went in the grocery store. I believe he was a cop or a security guard or something like that. He also created an engine that ran off water. So like there's technology and there's people out there that have figured this out, and if they really wanted for people to have like a clean, but your oil companies are going to lose money if you do that. The people that are going out there and getting your lithium, those companies are going to lose the money. The planet is 3/4 water.
I mean, a water engine.
And you get mad miles per gallon too.
I'm a man of science, but I'm not that smart, so
right.
I can't speak as to whether it is possible or not.
Oh, it's possible.
So
it's been done.
Well, like I said, I don't know. That's something I'd have to look at. Like now, cold fusion is something that would solve the energy crisis that they've been working on for. I think we need to explore nuclear, but people go Chernobyl. It's like, well,
they hear nuclear and they immediately start to squirt.
So okay, let's talk about the nuclear thing for a second. Why not have the nuclear plant in the middle of the ocean, like we do with the oil rigs? And guess what? We will never run out of water to cool them if anything is happening, and it's. There's no people around because that's the only thing they care about. Sure, there'd be environmental.
What about the aquatic life?
Well, yeah, but the technology is so much better now. It's virtually impossible without tampering for it to actually, for a Chernobyl to be pulled off.
Right.
And that was a result of mismanagement and stuff. Like it wasn't just they randomly.
Yeah.
And is there a risk? Yes, but everything in life involves risk. It's a matter of how much risk is it, and it's way less risky than all this lithium stuff going on with batteries and whatnot.
There's money to be made, and that's why that's how government operates. They will restrict something that's being produced somewhere else or some other method of making it, and they'll make it harder for you to do that and kind of redirect you into something that they want being done.
Well, you see
without making it thinking it's your idea.
Yeah. Well, you see it in business all the time. Walmart will come in, they'll open up, they'll undercut all the mom and pop shops, and make it the only. And eventually it becomes the only option because the mom and pop shops can't
compete.
Yeah, and then they up their prices. Like, they actually lose money for the first few years selling some of the products, but it's fine. They can afford to do that, and then they just up the prices again.
Yeah.
You know, they're going, hey, we're just gonna force you into buying from us. Come here, you.
I think convenience stores always operated, and this is always, even the mom and pop, angle, and you as a former owner, you guys made your money off people that were not in range of getting to a bigger grocery store, or were very impulsive and just like, ooh, shiny, need it now, it's right here, it's convenient. So that's what convenience stores, that's how they, it's kind of like the ATM.
Well, yeah, like it really just, like, that's the whole, like, the name is a convenience store for a reason. Like, it's
non-convenience store. We ain't got shit today.
Non-convenience store. To enter, you must climb 13 flights of stairs.
Dude, yeah, Hunger Games convenience store.
Like Guy's Grocery Game.
Dude, we can open that up in the mall. They have that fucking, what is that mystery thing where you got the 5 wits.
My brother used to work there.
Oh man, dude.
He actually he quit there because he was saying that there's a bothosexual that works there.
What?
A bothosexual. That's my new term for it.
Is that like bisexual?
No, the person that's both genders. I don't know if I can say it on YouTube without getting demonetized.
You can say it.
Gender fluid. But I like the term I just came up with, a bothosexual.
I call it trisexual. Try anything.
But apparently, like, they were just always constantly talking about, like, sex and just inappropriate stuff. Like, not the fact that they're gender fluid, just the fact that it's just constantly a topic.
Right.
So he ended up quitting and like he complained to his boss a couple of times. He's like, I don't feel comfortable when I'm trying to do my job, and then suddenly somebody's like, so about my breasts and my penis today. It's like,
because dude, that's at that point it's a mental illness.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that to be disparaging. I'm saying that because, like, if you're so fixated on it because you've been told to be fixated on it, you drank way too much of the fucking Kool-Aid.
Yeah. And like, they can't fire them for that because then they get sued.
Right. Wait, you fire me because I've got 3 titties and 1 testicle? Like, no, that's not why.
It's like, well, but that's the.
Like, you're a distraction, dude. Get your shit together.
Yeah.
That's exactly. It's fucking true, though. You are a distraction. I'm trying to work, motherfucker. You talking about what hole fits in what fucking phallically shaped thing, and like, I got 3 titties, 1 with milk, 1 with orange juice, and 1 out of order, and I like penis connected to a cuckold, and no, I don't know, man. It's, if that's what you're leading with, all right, stop. Like, you're there to do a job. Yeah, I mean, like, there's times to be perverse and funny and all that stuff. I'm fucking I'm the master of being inappropriate. Believe you me, but
I mean, like,
time and place,
like,
time and fucking place.
Like, we're serious about some topics, like we were today, and we bullshit. And what was that? My Batman impression last time.
Oh man,
my Batman impression is actually not that bad.
All right, let's wrap this up here. But for the next one, I'm going to shoot this idea with everybody out there. I want to shoot it with you too. Conspiracy theories and the new Shazam and Flash movie. We'll talk about that next time.
You know what I've always loved is movie conspiracy theories.
Huh? Like movies that cover conspiracy theories?
No, like when there's a conspiracy theory where Leonardo DiCaprio didn't die on the Titanic. He drifted and then washed ashore in Inception. Like, the movies are connected and it's the same person. Like, those kinds of things. Like, they're just, like, I think those are always so interesting. Because it's, like, clearly...
Like the Indiana Jones and the fucking Star Wars connection.
Yeah. Like, I think that might be an even better...
Like, little Easter eggs. I wouldn't say it's so much... It's just that. I think it's just Easter eggs. Like, you might have, like, the same film writer or somebody that had something to do with that film beforehand. It was like, we're going to throw this little Easter egg in there just to get people fucking wondering.
I'm going to find a couple of those for next week, though. I think that would be fun. Especially like, we haven't talked about... Since, we haven't talked about movies for a while. Then we can talk about the new Flash and all the other issues that happen with that.
Right.
So, okay, yeah, look forward to that, folks.
Word to Big Bird.
Oh, I just had another idea. We can talk about Pokemon and their Pokedex entries and how just like terrifying some of them actually are. Like, you ever seen those?
Like from which game? Because I got Sword and Shield.
Well, we can pull them up like from we can go on to Cerebi and just pull them up and just like see Pokedex entries and like which ones are like terrifying.
Why would it be terrifying?
Because some of them will say stuff like was it Slugma or Magarko? It's like the this Pokemon heats up to over 10,000 degrees. It's like, you have any idea 10,000 degrees? Like just
I thought like
around?
somebody's putting in some morbid shit themselves.
Oh no, just like one of those like. Wow!
Because when I had Sword and Shield, that's when the whole damn country was on lockdown, and then I had I started naming my started naming some of the Pokemon I caught, like COVID-19 and all kinds of other stupid shit. And so when they would talk about it, like, you know, you've captured or you're, you know, and I'd name it your
defeated.
mom, yeah, like your mom,
like,
or you traded you traded COVID-19 to somebody else to get this, or you traded your mom. Like I would name the dumbest shit ever.
Yeah, like I mean, good news nowadays with Pokemon is it's so easy to breed and whatnot. So that someone does give it a nickname that you don't like, you can just breed a new one. And
there you go.
But all right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. It's right about at the hour there. Once again, this is Just the Tip. I've been Monty. I'll continue to be Monty, I think.
I mean,
unless you hit me in the head when I'm not looking. Then
or if you come up in here acting like you're both homosexual or whatever the hell you call it.
A bothosexual.
Bothamo.
Bothosexual.
I thought it was bothamo.
No, it was bothosexual.
Bothosexual. Yeah.
Or a bophomsexual. Bophomsexual. Both of them.
Both of them. Yeah, both of them.
A bophomsexual. Bothosexual.
I'm gonna stick to trisexuality. Jesus Christ. If we offended anybody, you know.
Good. I don't know.
We please to aim.
I'm celibate right now. I'm basically asexual, and it's a choice.
Wow.
All the women in the world got together and made the choice for me, but it's still a choice.
And I was 2 people away from having a threesome, so I had a handsome.
Well, I'm always handsome, if you know what I mean.
Ba-dum-bumps.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you later.
All right. Well, no streets. No, wait. No, like, she belongs to the streets. Like, you gotta close it.
Oh, we need a new one? Oh, yeah, that's right. I need a closer. Okay.
Oh, I might have one here.
You know, I'll do a pickup line instead.
A pickup line?
I'll do a pickup line.
It's gotta be streets. You gotta affiliate it with the streets.
All right.
If she talks about both homosexual in the sheets, she belongs to the streets. No, that's terrible. That's not one of my better ones.
Remember, folks, always use a rubber if she belongs to the streets.
Or
rubber hits the road.
I don't need no new friends.
No new friends. No new friends. No copyrights.
None. Zero. Yeah, I got nothing, so we'll have to work on that for next time. But yeah, we'll wrap it up here, and thanks for coming on Just the Tip.
And remember, folks, always use a rubber when you get in her road.
You got nothing on that one.
Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We'll be back next time to offend, educate, and humor you.
I'm Fountainy. I'm super Fountainy.